I finally returned to our room and flopped onto the bed, letting the events of my time in the abyssal plains replay in my mind. I was trapped here, and soon enough I was about to go marching into battle against the demon lord for my freedom. The more I thought about it, the more surreal the feeling became. I was going to be in a room, meeting a powerful adversary face to face, and set myself free of the curse he brought down upon me. As Damien entered the room at last, I smiled and stood, walking over and wrapping my arms around him as he returned my embrace.
Tonight is our last night here.
Yeah.
We held each other, locked in silence and unable to say anything more. We had been in a heavy predicament, and we worked through it. It was something we did together. I mean, predicament is a bit of an understatement there, Laundry. You both almost died.
Yeah.
That's. I'm like, a predicament
Been
is
more
like,
of a hellhole.
oh dang, I can't get my peanut butter jar open. All we could do in the moment was hold each other and listen to our synchronized heartbeats. I didn't even know that was possible. The thought of tomorrow danced in my mind. I began to fear it even more. Was I ready to go into battle? Was Damien? Were any of us, for that matter? We were about to walk into the final battle of a world war. Would we survive? Would I live to see Damien afterward and feel his embrace again? Would I ever learn to stop asking so many goddamn questions? Tomorrow brought too many questions to think about, and I became frustrated and scared. Oh, my! Well, that was sudden.
That was a little abrupt.
Man, I'm so frustrated and scared. Let's fuck. Yes.
Yes.
Let's do it. Oh, God. There's not even anything bad on the screen yet, and I'm already like, oh, God. Here we go. I needed to hold him and treat the night like it was the last night of the world. Tomorrow was unpredictable, but tonight was guaranteed. I wrapped my arms tightly around Damien, burying my hands in his orange hair as he slowly encircled his arms around my waist. Damien pulled me close, knowing exactly what I wanted to do, even though I hadn't said it. Point is, say what you want to do. Damien slowly stepped us back towards the bed and fell forward onto it, pinning me down to the mattress with his body as he claimed my lips with his own. I combed my fingers through his hair lovingly. Each touch of his fingers embedded themselves into my memory as I took in his scent, his warmth, his kisses over my skin. I barely felt him slowly ease my legs apart. And, between them as he danced his tongue against mine, our tongues battled for dominance.
The loser would be sent to the Shadow Realm.
Shadow Realm! A part of me, however, felt a bit bold. I wrapped my arms and legs around Damien before rolling us over to where I straddled his hips, surprising him.
As sirens rang in the background.
I'm calling the police! Sirens in the background. We will. As he looked up at me in shock, I smirked down up at him, lovingly.
Wait, what?
I was finishing my line.
I feel like I missed this entire paragraph.
I did like half the paragraph and then you stopped the sirens. I didn't even notice them.
Oh my god. I have to say that?
Yes, you do. Now you know how I feel.
Okay.
You've worked so hard, Damien. Let me reward you.
I hate my life.
No, I started laughing because a motorcycle went by and I wasn't sure if you could hear it. Damien gulped slightly, taking in this new turn of events, before I leaned in and kissed him ever so sweetly, brushing my hands over his chest and feeling his skin beneath my fingers. As he quaked beneath me, I felt a rush of pride run through me. I liked this a bit. I would explore it further. I started flubbing.
Most of the time when I'm laughing here, it's from your blessed acting.
I would explore it further, undressing us as slow as possible and grinding myself against him. His hands, not bound anywhere, caressed over the skin available to him as his eyes became lost in my form. While a mild form of shyness rushed through me, I had to run through with the mood. I wouldn't let myself get out of this swing of heat between us, even as his hands rubbed against every weak spot I had. As it became unbearable to deny ourselves our carnal needs any longer, we ravished each other and finally made love, gripping to each other and letting our mouths become lost in each other's mouths and shoulders. Damien's hands combed over my back as I dragged my fingers along his chest, seeing the red welts of my dragging slightly forming over his skin. Welts were a bit intense. It was erotic to see, but as Damien's hands locked themselves onto my hips and began to guide our rhythm, I became lost in the pleasure within me instead. The bed creaking, son of a fuck. I can't. I will, but I can't. The bed creaking only became louder the faster and rougher we became. We were uncaring of who was around us or who would hear us. We were dancing through euphoria together, and we weren't going to be stopped. It was a perfect ecstasy from beginning to end, and when Damien wrapped his arms around me and held me close, both of us quaking in embrace. I could only stare into Damien's gorgeous purple and blue eyes. You can just say violet, my
Just
dear.
say blue-violet. It's a color.
Becoming lost in them as exhaustion began to crawl through me.
I love you, Damien. Forever.
I love you too. My life is yours.
Both passed out in each other's arms, lost in our bliss. The world didn't matter until the morning, but even then we knew we'd be all right. Tomorrow, decide everything. The day of the siege had finally dawned. We'd arrived at the Demon Lord's castle, and we were as ready as we could be. Many armies, bearing different banners and colors, washed over the grounds before the castle, ready to rush in and lay waste to the Demon Lord and the remainder of his forces. All of us shared a common enemy, and upon his demise, would all finally know some form of peace. Even during the roll call of the major generals, the air became full of determination and pride.
Mirth, Avarice, Nadia, Fiorna, Aradum.
Each name became a mark on history. This was the war to bring freedom or destruction to the demon world. If the rebellion didn't win this fight, then this war would never end. If the rebellion won, then the world would become united in a hopefully peaceful rule. The hour before the battle was set to take place, my thoughts instantly ran back to our final meeting in Lilith Castle. Diana had pulled the leaders and us together, instructing us on how exactly to proceed.
Zero, you will be joining Shadow and Sergeant in the front, taking care of the main army head-on. I expect that you will come out of it alive.
Yes, my lady.
Rabbit, Faye, you are in charge of range attacks and defense. We cannot allow any of those blasted imps getting to us from behind.
Yes, ma'am.
As Diana looked to me, I grew slightly fearful. I had to get into the Demon Lord's castle, but how exactly did Diana plan on getting me there?
You and your fiancé will take the side route straight to the castle.
Wait, huh?
We've organized our army to have our strongest on the front lines and against the tree line, giving us a side route for you to make your way straight to the castle.
If anything trickles into the side route, you'll be able to handle it. However, there is something I must ask of you.
What is it?
If you are indeed attacked, you need to defend your fiancé the entire way there. Do not let him use his energy.
What? Are you insane?
When you get to the castle, I will be fighting one-on-one with the Demon Lord. If something should happen to me, then I need you to take over. She is not ready to fight him, and you need to be at full strength to finish him off.
She's been taught well. Let her prove herself when the time comes.
I stared, listening and reaffirming the order. I couldn't lie, I was nervous. However, I was determined enough to see this through. I looked over at my fiancé with a confident smile.
I got this. Don't worry.
Despite the worried look in his eyes, he nodded and held my hand, trusting me in my decision to agree with Diana's command. Diana rolled her shoulders and looked at the map draped over the war table between us all. Her gaze pierced into the parchment as the aura around her body pulsated in anger.
I will fly ahead and meet the Demon Lord head on. No matter what happens, I will not allow that monster to live.
The pure determination and anger in her voice practically sent a shiver down my spine. She was set on seeing this through to the end, and I was sure that she was willing to even die if it meant taking the Demon Lord with her. The remaining incubi and the wives were asked to stay behind the army and guard the main base, where Rabbit and Faye were stationed. They needed as many eyes as possible in the back of the battle, so the 4 couples were perfect to keep things in check. As they agreed, the meeting ended and the mental preparation had begun. The idea of the upcoming battle scared me, sending waves of fear and worry up and down my body in response to the thought.
So, this is our last day in the demon world.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Damien and I stared at the map outline of the dark castle that was once his unwanted home. Damien's hand slowly eased into mine as he spoke again.
I will protect you no matter what. I promise.
I listened to him speak before nodding, taking in a deep breath. Everything would be okay. We would be fine. I had to believe in myself and get us to the castle. The time was right. Okay, and things were on fire. Like a beacon, our forces became the banner of hope and strength for the rebellion. At the sight of Diana, many soldiers bowed or stared in awe and inspiration. Maybe it was her presence, or maybe it was for what she stood for. But as Diana stood at the cliffside of the mountain, the air became full of energy and power. My fiancé, Rabbit, Faye, and I stood behind her as Diana stood on the ledge of the cliffside, addressing the rebellion for their final battle. Her voice echoed across the field, booming and reverberating through the air like thunder.
Milites! Et hug liberati isturei tramcun tuis omnibus conversiris, sto vobiscum reducitic vos ad spem, nocte, lavabir mur, arcem, hostium sanguine.
What she said.
What is she saying?
She said that the castle will be bathed in blood, and she will lead everyone to freedom.
The first part's a bit much.
It's just to spur the troops for war. I'm sure she didn't mean it literally.
I nodded as I stared at the back of Diana's head. A part of me felt a little intimidated and jealous of the power she had. She really could make armies bow to her and obey her every whim. At the same time, I knew that she was doing the right thing for this world.
Ele Dio dominati sun nostri, nos destruet, eum mitere, profundissimum, inferni detractos.
A pair of guards rushed forward, carrying a flailing imp demon who was caught in chains, and forcefully slammed him down in front of Diana. She glared down at him and gripped one of his horns, pulling him to his knees.
You should be thankful we didn't throw you into a stew like we did your partner.
Oh my! Okay! With that whisper, Diana dragged her nails across the imp's neck, slicing open 5 large gashes in his throat, and making him garble out painful, bubbling froth. Diana, however, kept holding his head up, focusing on the blood she poured from him, and guiding the energy that emanated from it towards the castle. The flash, a large purple and red orb barrier surrounded the castle shattered, fading into the air. The barrier that held the Demon Lord at bay was finally opened, allowing us to charge in and end this once and for all. Diana summoned her saber, letting it shine brilliantly as the purple taint Sorry. So what happened? I hope that she could have just said markings. Anyway, Diana summoned her saber, letting it shine brilliantly as the purple taint over her skin began to twist and turn. Before my eyes, the taint on her back took shape, lifting off of Diana's skin and morphed into a set of demonic wings. I could only stare. Jaw dropped as Diana's body lifted off of the ground, began to fly over the leaves, slowly gliding to the castle.
To war! To battle!